Okay, so we've got here a wire wheel brush thing that I've rigged up to attach to the drill, because apparently when you buy them they don't have a little something to go with them. They're supposed to go on some other tool. And a pan and roller. Now, for the first part here, where you want it to look like it's weathered, it's actually helpful to have a roller that you've already used, so it's all and rinsed out, so that it's all tamped down here, like you can see that. A brush and two different colors of stain. That's optional. I'm not even sure if it sells the effect better or not, because the kind that I have, they're almost the same color anyway. But yeah, and then this is just to open the cans, because the garage is a mess and I don't have a flathead screwdriver handy. Alright, so for the weathered part, you take your already used brush and apply stain to it. And without applying much pressure at all, just do that and get the high spots. Like that. And then do the whole thing, including the side frame pieces. Okay, and that's what it looks like now after that step. Just really rough, like it was painted long ago and then it got worn away. And that's what we want to be underneath our top coat, as if they just painted over top of it without sanding it away. So now is the part where you take the wire brush and you don't even have to wait until it's fully dry. By the time you're done doing this step, it'll be ready for the wire brush. And vary the amount of pressure until you see that it wears it away without removing it completely. And then I don't know if you can see it, but when you wear it away on especially the frame piece, if it's made of pine or anything that you've chosen to make out of pine, it should the grain should pop where you've covered it with stain, and then you wear it away, and the softer bits between the grain should be worn away faster and make it pop more. So anyway, do the whole door like that with your wire brush. Also, I should mention, what you're seeing here is the back of my door, because I've already done the front of the door to get the experimenting out of the way and see if this worked. And also, when you're doing the wire brush, I don't know if I said, go with the grain for the most part, like this, but you can occasionally go a little bit askance or completely horizontal in just various places, but not everywhere, just in various places to give a more weathered, uneven look, like scuffing has occurred over the years. But for the most part, they're going with the grain because it'll be quicker and easier to get the weathered look. And now comes the really monotonous part, if you thought that was monotonous, of taking your brush. You could probably do with a brush bigger than this one. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I did use a bigger brush than this the first time. And just thoroughly coat it. And you can stretch the stuff pretty far if you just really roughly massage it in there. Which, of course, we don't want this to be covered like like when with paint, because with paint you want it to be completely opaque, but with this you want to be able to see through it and see the weathered bits and the various imperfections that we've left there on purpose. So just do the whole door, covering everything and really getting into all the little crevices. Gosh, I sounded like Bob Ross there for a second, except not as charming and calming. Also, you'll notice here, it was harder to see before we had gotten this second layer of stain on, but now you can see more clearly that the grain on the pine board specifically, you can also see it over here, but that's mostly because it was already rough sawn. But here, where we've used the wire wheel on it, it's leaving these streaks now that we're putting on the overcoat of stain between light and dark, and that's what we're looking for. This, by the way, is what I mean when I say that you'll thank yourself if you plane the, or not plane, but joint the edges of these fence pickets, because while it may seem like you want the effect of gaps in the boards, and maybe you do, but your glue joint will be drastically less strong because look, it's not even touching. So if you're relying mostly on glue, I would recommend jointing these things so that they go together more smoothly, because I mean, I've got biscuits in there, but and I've got pocket screws elsewhere, but really I don't know how this thing's holding together at this point. So definitely joint those. Okay, and I've run out of stain. So just as a little tip, so this thing is like 76 inches tall, and I wrote it down in the Instructable, but these two little sample cans were enough to cover the front of this, and as much as you see here, basically the outsides and a little bit in the top middle there. So get your stain accordingly. That should probably do it if you're just making small things, but if you're making things that come up to as tall as your head like this is, maybe get, I think those are a pint, so maybe get a quart of each, and then you'll have plenty for multiple doors too. Anyway.